Well, we're finally here. Super Bowl week is here, and I'm kind of glad I didn't do this last week because I was kind of upset with the way the championship weekend kind of ended because of not because of what happened with Kansas City and Baltimore. I kind of expected that to happen, but more with how Detroit just completely blew it against San Francisco. I mean, they had them, and they just let them back in the game, and just like Dan Campbell, man, it's like I like Dan Campbell, but I lost a lot of respect for him after what he did. Basically, just kept going it for it on fourth down when you had the game sewn up. Just take the points. Like that's what I don't understand about people. People when they're in big moments like that, take the points and go, expand your lead. Because when you do what happened that day on Sunday, stuff like that's going to happen. San Francisco came back. You did nothing to stop them, and I mean, the rest is history now. So now we're getting a repeat of Super Bowl 54, I think. Yeah, 54. Super Bowl 54. We're getting another version of that with Kansas City and San Francisco playing for the Lombardi Trophy. And you know, everyone's saying San Francisco, they've been the best team all season long. They're always been favored in every single game they've played in, even the ones that they've lost badly in. Um, and everyone thinks that they're going to be the team to beat in the Super Bowl, but yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean, I'm sorry. I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it because until this guy shows me that he can be up there with he could be just as good as everybody else on this team. I'm sorry. Brock Purdy is the weak link for the 49ers still. I mean, yeah, they came back in the second half against Detroit, but that was mostly because Detroit was giving them opportunities to get back in there, and Dan Campbell was being an idiot. I still think Brock Purdy is the one thing that the San Francisco 49ers that's going to hold them back from getting that Lombardi Trophy that they deserve. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody else on that team is stacked. They've got a great offensive line, they've got great wide receivers, a great running back core, a great defense. But the quarterback is just not good, and everyone I feel like the NFL is trying to push a story around him because he was Mr. Irrelevant, and Mr. Irrelevants are successful, but this guy has done pretty well over the last 2 years, pretty well in quotation marks. I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't think he's that good. I mean, he could be he could be the equivalent to me about Skip Bayless is to Aaron Rodgers, but the difference is between Aaron Rodgers and his prime is that Aaron Rodgers in his prime was really damn good and was able to, and is a really damn good quarterback. Brock Purdy, I just don't buy it, man. I really do not buy it. I just feel like they're trying to push this narrative that he's really that good, but he's not. I'm sorry, he just really is not. So I don't really feel like that he's the reason why this team is as good as they are right now. They just have everything else on their team is so good except for the quarterback, and again, that's just my personal take on it. But then again, the Kansas City Chiefs also have a story of their own. Obviously, Taylor Swift, but given this though, when it matters the most, they did not look good in the regular season, and they looked pretty bad for most of the regular season. But when it mattered the most, in a game with you were on the road in Baltimore, everyone was expecting the Ravens to just come in and just beat them up because they were so good throughout the course of the season. Kansas City did what they do best. They go in there, they prove their dominance, and it's just like, I've said it before, never deny the power of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are the New England Patriots that we don't hate yet. And Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady that we don't hate yet. Like, we don't hate these guys just like we hate the New England Patriots during their dynasties, I should say. You kind of can figure out who I'm going to pick for Super Bowl 58 by the way I'm talking right now. But, honestly, everyone's going to say San Francisco, but I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not because I've finally decided that Taylor Swift is good for the NFL. No, I'm not buying into that. I'm not buying into that narrative either. But I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs because they're just looking like the Kansas City Chiefs that know what they're doing. Like I said, they went into Baltimore and just established their dominance in that game right from the get-go, and they didn't let Baltimore get any traction whatsoever. They caused a lot. They forced Lamar Jackson to be the hero, which that's the reason why he's never going to win a Super Bowl, because he has to. Because Lamar Jackson felt like he had to be the hero in that game when they brought all this talent in there to help him to win the game. And look at what Patrick Mahomes has done with without the team he had last year. They brought in McCall Hartman back after he went over to New York, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Kadarius Toney have not been. Well, Kadarius Toney hasn't played in the postseason yet, so we don't know for certain if that's going to be a factor coming into the Super Bowl. But remember what Marquez Valdez-Scantling had to go through in the regular season. Kept missing critical passes, ended up losing those games for the Chiefs. But then look at what happened the last 2 weeks. He catches a critical catch from Mahomes in Buffalo that gave him the traction to win that game. And then in Baltimore, when they had to put the game on the line, who did Mahomes throw it to? MVS, a dart to him. And he made that catch, and that's how they got to the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs may not look good in the regular season, but when it matters the most, in the postseason, they look like the same team they were last year. I mean, they feel like not quite the same team last year, but then again, it's also because their defense is stepping up big time. Chris Jones stepped up big time. Omedehu stepped up big time, even though he tore his ACL in the last game. I mean, the Chiefs right now just look like the team that they were last year, and I feel like that they're going to be the team that will lift the Lombardi Trophy again, and we can set them up as a new dynasty in the NFL. I'm predicting, and I'm saying the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win Super Bowl 58. I just feel like everything is working out in their favor. I feel like Brock Purdy is going to be the one thing that's going to keep the 49ers from getting that Super Bowl they've been trying to get to. I mean, you've been to the conference championship game 3 times. You've been to the Super Bowl 2 times in the last 6 years, and yet you can't figure out who your quarterback is. And I feel like that's going to be a factor going into this game. I feel like Brock Purdy's going to make those critical mistakes that he made a lot during the regular season against like Minnesota and Baltimore. And yeah, they may have looked like the dominant team this year, but the Philadelphia Eagles looked like the dominant team last year, and the team looked like they were going to win the Super Bowl. But Kansas City turned it on in the second half and basically just took over that game. And I feel like that's going to happen again here. I feel like Kansas City is going to win this game and set the Chiefs up as a new dynasty in the NFL. There's been also some talk that maybe Andy Reid might retire after this, and Bill Belichick might come in. I don't know if I'm willing to buy that per se. I mean, I don't know why Andy Reid would want to retire with Patrick Mahomes still there, but hey, stranger things have happened, man. I mean, it's not as obvious as Peyton Manning retiring after winning a Super Bowl, or Ray Lewis retiring after they made it to the Super Bowl, but it wouldn't. I mean, if you win 3 Super Bowls in a row. I mean, you have 3 Super Bowls. I mean, you pretty much cemented your legacy and I wouldn't be surprised if you would want to leave there. I mean, I don't know. I doubt it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but I don't think it's going to happen. But like I said, I think Kansas City is going to win Super Bowl 58. And watch me be wrong, and San Francisco somehow pulls one out of their ass again.